Saying the word pussy is what are you doing?
Huh? What? What did you say?
You know speak no English?
I lost 20 pounds. You are so fat. You do not care.
Oh my goodness, what are you doing?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be talking about what America has taught me coming from Uganda.
I jumped in the car and it was zoom, zoom.
So I'm actually getting ready for the day, so I'm going to be talking about the things that I learned as I do my makeup. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'm so sorry if you hear my niece and nephew in the background. They're awake having a blast, so if you hear baby noises, that's why. So the first thing that I actually learned when I moved to America is how to do my own groceries. Back in Kampala, you know, you'd have people doing your groceries for you or house help doing your groceries for you. So it was a new experience because I had never done anything like that in my life before. Like when I say I walked into a grocery store and I saw all this food, all these shelves and everything, I was just so surprised because I was like, dang, you could do your own groceries. The next thing that I learned how to do was actually clean. We'd have a lot of house help, either one who's focused on like cooking, one who's focused on cleaning. You know, we had a lot of house help. So when I came here and like messes were made, you know, my dad would be like, okay, listen, like this is not like Uganda where, you know, things are just surprisingly gonna disappear and like move away. You're gonna actually have to learn how to clean. And so my dad taught me how to clean, my sister and my brother, they taught me the ways. I had never cleaned a toilet in my life. So when I came here, I learned how to clean a toilet. I learned how to clean a bathtub. I learned how to clean like dishes. I learned how to do so much. Honestly, now thinking about it, I feel like I was like really spoiled. But yeah, I never knew how to clean like at all. I knew how to do my clothes, put them away. I knew how to wash my underwear. I knew how to shower, like, you know, basic stuff that you need to do. Preparing a snack, I knew how to do that. You know what I mean? But just like deep cleaning. I'm not talking about just cleaning messes, you know. I'm talking about like deep cleaning. And it's something that I do almost every single day now. I don't like messes. Maybe it's because I'm type A, but yeah. So I like cleaning. I don't like having like messy areas. So I figured out how to do things by myself, how to mop, sweep, and all that stuff. So soon after that, I figured out how to speak proper English. And when I mean proper English, I guess learn how to talk in the American accent. So when I first came here, I remember I was on the phone with a family friend, and I remember like in general, like I used to think that certain words were pronounced in certain ways, and now looking back at it, I feel like that is so funny. So this is so embarrassing to say, but you know, first I would say, instead of saying hot, I would say it's so hot. I don't know why I felt the need to roll my R's. Even in August, I would say August, and I basically had to learn how to speak properly because people were like acting like they didn't understand what I was saying. Some people would be confused with the way I pronounced things. Oh my gosh. In Uganda, saying the word pussy is like pussycat, right? In America, it means something else. It means the woman area down there. So there's some words I had to learn how to say differently. The way I used to spell color is not the same way. It's basically spelled differently here. I'll put both of them. This is the American way. This is the Ugandan way because we were colonized by the British, or we had some British rule in there, so that is why. And I feel like when I first came here, I feel like people had a hard time understanding what I was saying, you know, so I had to learn like the way to pronounce words, how to like articulate things like specifically. And eventually it took me about, I would say like a year and a half to fully be confident in the way I speak. And unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but now it's so hard for me to like go back to the way I used to speak. For example, I could be like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I would literally speak like that. Now I'm like,
Oh my goodness, what are you doing?
and it's so weird because when I go back home now, they say like I'm so Americanized. But at the same time, if you've lived in a different country for 7 years, you're gonna learn the customs. It's not just gonna like stay with you like 24/7. So yeah, I would get a lot of
Huh? What? What did you say? Do you need help? You know, speak no English.
I started getting so like many arrogant comments, and like I was tired of that, so I was just like, okay, I need to learn how to speak this language so I could communicate with people. Another thing that I learned as well was driving on the right side of the road. In Uganda, everyone drives on the left, so it took me a long time to get used to this. I mean, it took me about like a year to figure out like, okay, which way to go, even though I did start driving at 16, but I had to figure out how to like drive almost like in the opposite direction, because in Uganda, like I'm so used to like cars moving on the left side, it was so weird learning how to drive on the right side. Oh my gosh, so an important lesson that I also learned while in America, I learned about credit. So I got my first credit card at 18, and in America you need credit to basically have a good life. If you have bad credit, it's kind of like showing that you don't know how to use your money, and before you get an apartment, before you get a car, before you could get like a loan or something, like you need credit. So I got my first credit card at 18 when I first started college, and here everything is almost about money. If you do not know how to use your money wisely, like they will know that you don't know how to use your money. And credit has actually ruined baby is mad. Basically what I was saying, that credit is super important, and it basically like it's basically just about how you handle money. If you don't know how to handle money, you're gonna have poor credit, and it's like everyone can see that, especially when you're trying to get a house, an apartment, a car, anything like that. They need to know what your credit is. And I feel like I keep on forgetting to mention, it's so easy to get into debt in America. Like that's like the easiest way to like ruin your life. Debt is taken pretty seriously here. You can't get other things without like paying off your debt. So that's why like when you get a credit card, my dad always taught me to use the money that I have, not the money that I wish I had, because that can like literally like ruin your life here. You need to, and then you have to work crazy hours to pay it off, you know? It's just not fun. So I usually just keep my credit card in my pocket for emergencies like gas money. Maybe I need like some toiletries, but stuff that I can actually afford to pay back. I had to pee, excuse me. Another thing I learned is makeup. So I never used to know anything about makeup. When I came from Uganda, I will show you a picture of what my makeup used to look like. I always used to play around with my mom's makeup, so I'm thankful she allowed me to do that. But I feel like here is where I really learned how to really do makeup, because at that time not a lot of people were into makeup. I mean, I was young, not really allowed to use makeup. Learned how to do eyebrows, lashes when I came here. But this actually happened after I graduated from high school and was starting college. I feel like it's one of my hobbies, but I don't wear makeup as much as the people here in America do, I feel. I wear makeup usually on like special occasions or when I want to take pictures, but I don't wear it like every single day. I can be fine going to work without makeup. I don't mind. So when you come to America, you learn how to obsess about food. Like you have to like keep in mind of proteins you're eating, carbs you're eating. So I learned a lot about nutrition. You learn about like vegan diets. There are all sorts of diets that were created. And honestly, I feel like you start to obsess over food. And you can also choose, of course, if you eat healthy, if you eat unhealthy. But it's so convenient eating unhealthy because when you're busy, you don't have time to cook, you don't have time to prepare stuff. Not anyone has a personal chef here because they're pretty expensive, and this is where fast food places make a lot of money. And ladies and gentlemen, this is how I gained weight. When I went back to Uganda after I graduated high school, I lost 20 pounds within a span of a month. Literally just dropped 20 pounds. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to worry about diet, but that's because the quality of food in Uganda is so good, so nutrient dense. Here, not a lot of food is nutrient dense, and the unhealthy foods are very cheap. I'm talking like you could get something for $1. Like, it's so cheap to get unhealthy foods here. But yeah, in Uganda, things are very relaxed, things are very chill, you know. People can be late to meetings sometimes, and you know, it's all good. In America, if you're late to a meeting, it just means you do not care. So being late is something that is looked down upon in America. So I had to learn time management, because when I came here, I would be late for all my appointments. I would just be like, it's okay if I'm 10 minutes late. To all the parties I would go to, I would be like an hour late. Like, I would take my sweet time. But then after learning that it's very offensive here, I had to learn how to, you know, be more punctual. Basically, if you're late, it just gives you a bad image. But if you're early, it looks like you're responsible, you're reliable. And yeah, so I had to learn how to be early. And sometimes I still struggle because I still have that African gene. Another thing I learned is how to say no. In Uganda, I feel like people are so nice about saying no. They're like, "Banaganti, kubanga," and like they give you like explanations. Here, you just learn. There's so many uncomfortable positions I've been in where people ask you to do things that you don't want to do, where you're not in the mood to do anything or like talk to someone, or someone is giving you like a task that you don't want to do. I mean, unless it's your boss. But people here, when they ask you for favors, they go above and beyond. So before, I always used to explain myself like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do this because of this. But I started noticing that that is the Ugandan courtesy. So yeah, here people don't get offended with saying no. And that's pretty much it. I just learned how to say no. They could be a guy that you don't like, they ask you out on a date, and if you just say flat out no, like, you know, no hard feelings, no. You know what I mean? Because people in America are way more sensitive than Uganda. You know, in Uganda, you could be like, you are so fat. Look at her clothes. They're so bad. You know, just like being honest. But in America, if you do that, you're creating a lot of enemies. So you have to be careful about what you say and how you say something, because people here get offended really easily. But back home, you could just be like, you're fat, I don't like your makeup, I don't like this. And you know, people go about their day. It's like you're trying to get yourself killed. People get so offended. Then people say you're rude, but honestly, it's just being honest. So that's why I like Uganda, brutally honest. So coming to America, I also learned how to be more responsible, be more independent. And this also goes with like putting gas in your car. You actually are the only person who puts gas in your car. There's not anyone to help you do that like they do in Uganda, because I remember last time I went back, I was literally getting ready to go out the car to put gas in my mom's car, and then she said, no, someone's gonna do it for us. And I was like, wait, what? Because I hadn't been there in so long. But yeah, you literally are independent, you do your own groceries. If you have somewhere to go, you do it. I had to learn how to pay bills, like phone bills. I had to learn how to basically do my own thing. Like, I can literally go to lunch by myself. I had to learn how to get a job, save money, and be responsible, make, you know, responsibly financial choices. So I'm also taking care of my little sister. And that also taught me how to be responsible, because my dad didn't have to worry about taking her to school since I could drive. I would take my little sister to school, you know, take her shopping and all that stuff, you know, while my dad's at work. So you just learn how to be more independent. And yeah, those are a few of the things that I have done to become more independent. Another thing that I do know is, oh my goodness, here people do not care. In Uganda, I feel like a lot of the stuff we do, choices we make, is because we're like wanting to impress other people, or it's, I just bit my tongue. Here, people do not care about anything that you do. I feel like in Uganda, a lot of people make their choices or choose, let's say for example, a career that they're doing is because they're told to do it. It's like you're seeking for someone's approval. But here in America, like, you gotta do your own thing, because loud Jesus, like, that's one thing I'm thankful for in America, because I started caring less about what people think. When I first came to America, I remember when I was in high school, like, I would care so much about what people are saying, like, oh, did I hurt that person's feeling? Did I offend them? Like, and now I really, like, genuinely don't care. Like, I just do me. I mean, if I'm friends with you, then, you know, I care to a certain degree. But you learn to be more, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, everybody in America like minds their own business. Yes, there are a lot of nosy people, but like you could literally walk outside, titties hanging, no bra, you're fine. You could walk outside picking your nose. I don't know, what's something else you could do that's wearing like a bikini in the car and going shopping in the grocery store in a bikini. No one's gonna care, no one's gonna judge you. They're just gonna be like, oh, okay, like, like everyone just minds their own business and keeps to themselves. But in Uganda, like, you know, I feel like people like worry so much about what other people think. The family, friends. The last thing I'm gonna say that here in America, dating culture is so different. In Uganda, I feel like you have to be with this one person. Even if you're going out to lunch, it's like with this one person. Here you could get like 3 boys. Okay, I'll meet you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nothing is serious, nothing is official. And then you figure out who you wanna be with. Here it's like dating is almost like considered like talking. You know what I mean? And then when someone says they're in a relationship, that's when they're officially together. But here, dating culture is so crazy. I honestly prefer dating culture in Uganda, but you know, here people just don't care. They date who they want to date and they do what they want to do. The time I see people, at least in my age group, dating for 6 months to like even 3 months to 6 months, honestly. And let me know if you guys like this video, because I could also make a video about the comparisons between America and Uganda. And if you have been abroad, like let me know what some of the things you learned have been, because I'm curious to know. You know, because I know that everyone has a different experience, especially if they're living in a different country. This is just my experience living in America. So I'm curious to see how other people are dealing with this. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below your experiences, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
You could fit a dream, drinking in compliments, but they made her hungrier with every pinch. Her mirror was a warden, thinking behind